So you might have noticed this episode is so full of ADHD AF legends, it's fit to burst. So I need to keep this brief, but here's a quick explanation. I've realised that a lot of people don't understand the purpose of the live shows, but then at the same time, I also realise that lots of listeners are not even in the UK, or if they are, they might not be able to attend. So I decided to create an episode that would bring value to listeners wherever you are in the world, and whether you're attending the Christmas shows, considering it, or not interested at all. So this ridiculous episode is back-to-back micro interviews giving ADHD insights that will be of value rather than just about the Christmas shows. So we have ADHD stories, useful information, hacks and humour from ADHD coaches, nurses, actors, activists, community legends, the works, truly everything and the kitchen sink. It is very busy, it's messy, it's long and it's late. But it is full to the brim of heart, help, humour and ridiculousness. So truthfully, this chaotic episode perfectly encapsulates ADHD AF, the ADHD AF community, the live events, and so it turns out, it also perfectly encapsulates how ADHD presents in me personally. Because what sort of a tit goes from trying to learn how to edit one week to doing their first solo interview the next, and then decides to interview 14 people in one day and then edit them together and release it as an episode by the very next day. Asking for a friend. Honestly, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but yeah, like all things ADHD AF, myself included, this episode is too much. But do listen. Even if you have to do it in little bits and come back to it. Because whilst attempting to edit this absolute chaos, re-listening to all of these wonderful people who will bring so much to our community has had me in all of the feels. Seriously. All the different kinds of tears. I hope you enjoy.
ADHD has females. ADHD AF. ADHD has females. The podcast.
We did it for the acronym.
Hi, I'm Dawn.
Hi, I'm Laura, and we
are
are ADHD AF. Seriously.
Well, that feels like a lifetime ago.
Doesn't it just?
Since that recording in May 2022, we have been on quite the safari.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to the same street at the same time, at the same age, with the same undiagnosed neurodevelopmental condition. But despite all of the serendipity and the similarities, our ADHD presents completely differently from each other. But make no mistake, it is equally debilitating for us both.
Over the course of season 1, we used our voices to raise awareness, break the stigma, and share our experiences in the hope that they help others. And unbelievably, it worked, leading us to help listeners in almost every country in the world and creating ADHD AF live events and an online peer support community, for all of which we're so very grateful. Despite all that, we're still just two rebels with a cause, having a blether from a tiny village on the beach in Aberdeen, Scotland. Two pieces of sea glass washed up on the same shore.
Trigger warning. We cover some triggering topics, so please read the description of each episode before listening. We're not medical professionals, therapists or coaches. We're not qualified or even emotionally equipped to offer advice or support. We're only experts by our own experiences, which we share alongside what we discover in these crucial conversations to raise essential ADHD awareness amidst a global crisis. We won't always get it right. We will talk over each other and forget the point mid-sentence. As we continue to unmask, we're attempting to unashamedly own our own too muchness.
We wear leopard print to our events because the leopard is a symbol of Aberdeen. It also symbolises bravery, courage, and the reclaiming of power. Plus, we're a little bit Han.
Yeah.
So that's why it's become the uniform of our leopard print army, our own special camouflage to unite the community.
We're called ADHD as females purely for the acronym ADHD AF. Get it? Because we both have a juvenile sense of humour.
And we swear like sailors. Sorry, mums. And of course, we're ADHD as...
Anyway, this is an inclusive space where all genders are so very welcome.
Yes, they are. So join us as we continue to make some serious noise about this misunderstood condition to help others like us alongside raising awareness with a hope to influence systemic change so that those in need can be treated both medically and with the respect they deserve. We continue on this safari because hell hath no fury like two late diagnosed ADHD women.
ADHD as females, the podcast.
I'm really sorry, I've got the giggles. I feel like we should keep that in because
That's
we've just
fine.
been chatting about how ridiculous we are. And breathe. Hi, I'm Amy Polly. I am a mindfulness teacher, a mental health speaker, a neurodiversity advocate, and ridiculous human being.
An absolute legend. Seem to be cut from the same piece of cloth, you and I.
I love us.
So you have got a very special part in some of the Christmas shows, which we're going to keep under our hats because it's so clever and so brilliant. We're going to save it for the shows. But what shows are you going to be at?
So excited. So I am going to be at London, Leeds, and Glasgow.
Oh my goodness, so exciting. What would you like to say about ADHD just now? What's in your head? What would you like to share?
I just feel like the main thing I want people to know about ADHD is that there is nothing wrong with us. We just work differently, and that is okay. And, you know, we all say once you met one person with ADHD, you've only met one person. We're still all different in our own rights. I just think there's this big brush that's being like tarred across ADHD, and people would do well to remember that there's not one big brush to tar us all with. And the other thing that we were just talking about, which I think in the world of work as well is such a difficult thing to express and navigate, is that when people say, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. That's bollocks, because I'm really not good at preparing. If you want me to do something in 3 weeks, it will be done. I don't really know how, but it will be done. And I feel like we're often, especially seeing it, you know, in the younger generation and family members being pushed into a box of a way to learn and a way to do things, and it just doesn't work for us. So please don't keep making me explain myself. Just know that I am capable and I am smart and I can do difficult things. I just have to do them in my way, please.
Exactly. And I think it's a lot like I don't know if I am a last minute wonder or not. I just take on too many things and then they're not done in an ordered fashion, but I know they're all going to get done, you know? So
I just think to the outside eye, if you're not neurodivergent, people don't always get that. And so you get questioned a lot. And I feel like, look, just please take me on what you've seen me do before. Know that I am capable. And yes, this is probably really painful for me internally because we have to go through the messy bit.
Yeah.
But I promise, with a little bit of support and understanding and letting me do things my way, it will all be good.
I would love you to tell me the most ADHD thing you've done this week, please.
Well, right now it's a Monday morning. I don't know if that matters that I've just said that for when this goes out, but I'm just going to be honest. So the week's not even happened yet, and I feel like I've already had a week in the morning. And I feel like I was literally getting the most ADHD thing. I was getting ready for this call thinking, what are we? I don't actually know what's happening. Is she recording? I mean, like I just said, I'm ready to go because you asked me something. My brain's on, and we'll do it. But I just feel like I'm already knackered and it's early on a Monday morning.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got a lot to do and I'm really, really tired. I know the things will get done this week, but I just feel like not knowing what this call was about is the most ADHD.
Yeah, but thankfully I have sent you the script for the show, so we're a little bit more organised there, right?
Look, it all comes together. We know what we're doing. We just externally sometimes appear that we do.
Oh, I'm sorry you're knackered. Thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to see you very soon. Guess what? I'm late for the next interview. I better go. Oh, it's my fault. Not at all. It's fine. Thank you so much, lovely. I will message you later. All right.
All right, love you.
Bye,
darling.
Yeah, I'm Joe. I am 47, nearly 48. And I was diagnosed when I was 46.
Yes.
So I am quite fresh.
Yeah. So Joe, I think I've got episode 22 in my head, but I might have made that up. But you
I
are
can't remember.
old school. It was actually you that suggested going on tour in the first place. But
Well,
you only meant let's go for beers, but I'm
yeah.
all or nothing, right? So that's what happened.
I was thinking we could just get together, have a civilized lunch, couple of drinks.
Tour?
You can't do anything in small measures, can you? Got to go over the top.
Too much, too much. I'm very, very excited that you're going to be joining me on this mini Christmas tour.
I'm going to be at Leeds.
Yeah, very excited about Leeds. The Leeds show was incredible last time, wasn't it? It's such a
Yeah,
cool
lovely,
venue.
lovely.
I'm not going to give away what you're going to do in it because I want to save it. And I don't actually know at this point.
We'll just make it up as we go along.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What would you like the world to know about ADHD?
I'd like the world to know that it is not a fad. I think it's really easy when we get more knowledge about things and more people, for want of a better way of putting it, come out of the woodwork late in life, particularly having, realised that hang on a minute, joining the dots. And so yeah, it's not something that's a trend. I don't want to be part of a trend. I'd prefer not to have it.
Yeah.
To some respects.
Given the choice.
I'd rather have been a brain that operates on my terms rather than
Has a
something
brain
else.
of its own, yeah.
Yeah, brain of its own. My brain's got a brain. 400 legs, and it's something that it's been frustrating for me. It's actually brought me into contact with lots of people who are in a similar position, who, like yourself, are relearning about themselves.
Yeah, obviously it's still relatively fresh. Are you on meds? Have you been affected by the med shortage?
So when I was diagnosed, I was offered either meds or therapy. So I had to make an instant decision. But
Even though it
knew,
says on the medication that they work in conjunction with each other.
So my thinking was, from the learning that I'd got, is that people were having real successes with medication.
Yeah.
Some people instantly, which didn't work for me, but there is fairly quickly after titration, you start to feel the benefits. So I take Delmasart. It's some sort of amphetamine.
Yeah.
I can't even read it. Even with my good goggles on, I can't read what that word says. And so it does make a real difference to me. It makes me sit still and do things. I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world. It's not cured me, but it's helped me for definite.
And have you been affected by the medication shortage, or have you been all right?
Not so far. I think I've been quite lucky in that I've managed to get it, but I did have trouble. So my medication was in 2 tablets of different sizes, and those are the ones that I had trouble with. So what I did do is just say, can you just give me 1 tablet at the full dose? Luckily, it's been all right, but I know a lot of people that are really struggling.
Yeah.
Not just on this medication as well, but on other things.
Yeah. Tell me, what is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
Thing that I do all the time, and no amount of medication is going to change this, is writing emails, particularly at work, with the intention to send them, and they stay in my draft box.
Yeah.
So I have to, I've learned to check my draft box to make sure that there's nothing hiding in there that I need to send. Because a lot of the stuff that I do is...
That's a good hack. I'm now like, I should do that right now.
Yeah, and it has to be done. So there's that kind of stuff. So nothing, touch wood, nothing ridiculous. I think back this time last year, I took the wrong car for an MOT, but I've not done that this year. I need to book an MOT.
There you go. That's a good one. Hey, book your MOTs. Book your MOTs. Check your draft email inboxes.
Oh, God, yeah. The thing that really gets me about ADHD is that I really struggle to manage a diary. So every week there is some sort of diary mismanagement hiccup type thing that probably resonates with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And that's frustrating because I think medication's brilliant because it has a lot of really positive effects, but it doesn't take away everything. It helps you manage, but it doesn't stop you doing the things. And the diary management, if I could change one thing about myself, it would probably be that. I'd be far more happy, I think. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm so looking forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for coming and for being the catalyst of all this ridiculous gallivanting around the UK.
I'm happy to take the blame for it.
Well, thank you ever so much. I very much look forward to seeing your needs.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's such a great gang. Yeah, I just appreciate all the effort that you put in and bringing people together. I know it takes a lot out of you, and be kind to yourself.
Yeah. I'll get there. Who are you?
I am Zoe from Zoe Joanna Coaching. I'm a neurodivergent coach. I have ADHD myself, and I help others who have ADHD and autism, or the combined AUDHD or ADHD.
And you help me with all my chaos. Thank you very much. So I'm very excited that Zoe is joining me at one of the shows. I'm going to save what she's doing in the small Dickensian twist at the end for a surprise. Which show are you at, Zoe?
I'm at the Aberdeen show.
Amazing. What message would you like to give?
It's really difficult, actually, I think would be my message to everyone, just to validate the difficultness of having ADHD, because there is definitely pluses to it and there can be acceptance that goes along with it. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it is extremely difficult at times and will continue to be that way. Like, obviously we can manage it and it can be manageable in terms of the way we deal with it, but it's still a very difficult thing to live with. So this whole, it's a trend, like we're just jumping on a bandwagon, and all of that is really difficult to hear when you live with it and you understand how difficult it's made your relationships, friendships, work, like all of that. So yeah, I just want to validate that and share that. I know it's not the most positive thing, but I think it needs to be addressed so people realize that they're not alone in that. And
absolutely. Like, if you're struggling, you're not doing ADHD wrong, because there are some amazing, we're all capable of amazing things. We do things our own way, but like, if you don't feel like it's a superpower, you haven't tripped over your cape, like it's really difficult. I think that's a brilliant message. Thank you very much.
The most ADHD thing I have done, because I feel like it's just there all of the time. So I'm just here in my office.
That is a very valid and reasonable answer. Breathing, existing, getting up, opening my eyes. Absolutely. Because it is with us every second of the day. Yeah. Impacting how we operate in the world. Absolutely. So thank you very much.
So another thing I would like to say is around access to work. The process has changed quite recently. So if you've given it a go before and maybe you've been denied, it's definitely worth giving it a go again now, because the process, has changed slightly in not necessarily the whole process, but it's certainly the application side. So I have updated my access to work guide. So you can see, basically, you can go through it all without having to go through it all. Like, you can look through the PDF, go through it all, see if you need any information before you start filling it in, see if you feel like you're eligible. I put so many examples in there of what we can say. So they're definitely listening, and the process is getting better. I'd say it's still not quite there, but it is definitely getting better. So if you're up for applying, I would do so now, because I feel like now is actually a really good time to do it and just get in there, like get your name down. There is a slight backlog at the moment of about 3 months, but once you're in, you're in. So then the process can begin.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Like, you're arming people with the tools to go forth and get that. So that's wonderful. So they can find that on your website.
Yes, zoejoannacoaching.com. Just head there. You can get it's free. It's completely free. Just download it and then you'll have access. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you ever so much. I can't wait to see you in Aberdeen. Let's get festive. AF.
Can't wait. I'll see you there.
So I'm very excited to introduce to you a friend of mine. So you might know her, but she hasn't been on the podcast before, and I'm very excited to have her on the podcast. Please, will you introduce yourself?
Well, hello. Thank you for having me. This is very exciting for me. My name is Claire. I'm Claire Durrant. I am a singer and a vocal coach based in Norwich. I have ADHD, currently unmedicated and out here like absolutely wilding life.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that's going to come soon. And I work with people of all sorts of ages, all sorts of singing abilities. I'm a singing teacher who doesn't believe that people are tone deaf. I think more than anything, it's like a lack of confidence that people have.
Have you heard me sing?
I've had so many people come to me and they say, my family says I can't sing, or we're singing in the back of the car when we're kids and I'm the one that's told to shut up, and like that breaks my heart, because I think that singing is a good therapy for everyone. Everyone enjoys singing, in the privacy of their own home, some of us, but we all feel a release from it. So you're so right.
You know what? That is my story. That is my story. I've always loved singing. And then, people would be like, you're completely off key, or that sounds really bad, or just laugh. And I'd be like, I should stop singing. I'm not going to sing anymore then. So I stopped singing.
Yeah. It makes people feel so sad. So that's part of my job that I really enjoy, actually, is teaching people and helping them overcome those fears, because it helps with your confidence in other areas of life as well. So yeah, I teach online as well. So if anybody wants any lessons, you can email me at Claire Durrant, that's ClareDurrant @hotmail.co.uk. And yeah, we can arrange online lessons if anybody wants one. And I do them in person here in Norwich as well. Yeah.
Claire is the best. And I'm so excited because Claire is actually traveling to London. And I think I've not been telling people what people are doing, but I think you can guess what Claire's going to do. So
100%.
Tell me about how you discovered you had ADHD.
Wow. I think it's a story that so many, especially women in their 40s like myself, have been through. I just was going through life feeling like I was failing at everything all the time, feeling thoroughly depressed, feeling like I was watching everybody grow up and get ahead. And I still felt like a child in the world, just not understanding how it all works, basically. I was like, why am I like this? And it just got to a point where I'd had so many breakdowns and had been told by doctors so many times that I was depressed or I was anxious. I knew it wasn't that. I knew it was something more than that. I would even say to the doctor, I'm not depressed. And well, how do you know? Like, it's not that. There's something so much more. So in the end, I moved back from Canada after I broke up with a boyfriend that I was with there. And we went straight into lockdown. So I had a lot of time in my room by myself, spending a lot of time online. And I saw an article in The Guardian reading her life experience, going, that is just like reading me.
Yeah.
And I'd never experienced that feeling before. And I know lots of people say this, but I hadn't. I suddenly felt like somebody else was exactly the same as me. And I wasn't this weird freak going through life, failing and not understanding things. So then, because I have ADHD, I spent about 2 years doing nothing about it. Like, well, I think I've got ADHD. Let's leave that then. Let's put that for a couple of years. Let's have a couple more mental breakdowns before we can finally get it together. I know. So I did. I went to the doctor and I had an amazing mental health nurse who helped me really navigate the whole thing, because the irony is when you have all these forms to fill in, and filling in forms is just not the one. So she babysat me through it, basically. I was very lucky because I know a lot of people just don't have that experience. So she advised me to go through Psychiatry UK, which I did, because she said it was going to be faster than the NHS, and the NHS will recognise that diagnosis from them.
Yes, yeah.
So at the time, I waited about 6 months and just had a lovely, like, hour-long session with this lovely man, psychiatrist, obviously. And at the end of the call, he just said to me, I think you definitely have ADHD. I mean, I've been crying through the whole assessment.
Yeah.
Going through all the childhood horrible things that you don't want to relive. But when he told me, the sense of relief I had at being diagnosed, I felt validated.
Yes.
And I just cried. I just cried all day long. But they were tears. It was like a whole lifetime of relief, because I was 45 and just felt finally understood. I was excited to have medication gradually going up every couple of weeks if it felt like I needed more, and the symptoms would always creep back. So I kept upping the dose. Then all of a sudden, there was no medication anymore. It was just, there was a shortage. I couldn't get any, and I realized my dose was too high. So I just took it back down to the dose that I felt where I was really good. Just no medication since, I think, the end of September, beginning of October.
It's a long time. It's a long time. It's so shit. There'll be so many people listening in your exact position. And it's like, you've got the, I don't know, I can't think of the word, like the lifeline or the whatever. And you go, oh, thank goodness it's in reach. And then it's taken out of your grasp again. It's just, you couldn't write it. You couldn't write it.
I just thought, because when medication is working and I've got the right dose, I feel unstoppable. I really benefit from it, because I suffer with terrible executive dysfunction, and that just gets me going. In fact, if anything, I'm like building a cathedral at like 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm so like, I can do it all, which is the complete opposite to how I am naturally. So I was really devastated when I knew I was going to go back to being a bit of a, slow person who's not getting the things done effectively. But there's hope on the horizon. Apparently medication is back in circulation now, limited supply.
It's coming back, and in the new year there's meant to be no other problems. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Goodness. And, I think about so many other people as well, like little kids maybe struggling at school. They're relying on it as well. It's not just, me.
A lot of people are signed off work. There's all sorts. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so sorry that that's happened. And I'm so excited to see you soon. I'm not going to give away exactly what you're doing because I'm just not, because I'm too excited about it. What would you like the world to know about ADHD?
I would like the world to know that it is so much more than just being the fun friend who's a little bit kooky, makes you laugh sometimes, maybe says silly things at the wrong time and shows up late and stuff. Those things are just like the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. They're just the things you see. It's the mental stress, the constant mental stress that people go through, should I say, that I think people don't understand about ADHD. They just, if they don't want to know about it, they don't see this whole great big picture of someone's whole life, every single moment of it being affected by this disability, I guess.
So what is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
So my mum is in a wheelchair, she's 78, and I like to take her out. So I took her to Cambridge and we had a lovely day, and I don't really know Cambridge, and we sit and have dinner in this park, and we decide we're going to go home early. So we have this little picnic, and we were going to get the earlier train at 4:30. And I realised, I Googled, we're 11 minutes from the station. I'm like, brilliant. We'll, have a little can of cider as well. I was naughty. We'll finish the cider, Mum, and we'll poodle off back to the station. It's 11 minutes. So the train was at 4:15. This was 10:02. And I was like, right, let's go. We'll be there in plenty of time. Put it in Google Maps, have my phone in my hand so I can hear her going, yes. Like after about 9 minutes, we're going, heading through a car park towards this field. And my mum's like this little grey lady sitting there. She's like, oh, we're going to a field. I'm like, yeah, I don't get this. I look at my phone. We're now 28 minutes away from the station. Yeah. And I just must have done something.
Yeah.
It was actually a place I had Googled earlier that I wanted to take her because it looked like a nice little country walk.
Yeah.
So I'd just gone and taken her there. So then obviously we missed the train and that was that. And we had to get the next train. But I then decided we were going to go through this field and there's like a cattle grate and I can't get the wheelchair over there. So I back out and try and find another way round. And I'm like, everything's just so stressful. And then I go back and then we're going to go this other way. Mum went, there's a gate next to the cattle grid. We could have just pushed open the gate and stuff. It's little things like that, isn't it? Yeah. So we missed the train. I didn't check where we were going. Ended up in a field.
Thank you, Claire. Who are you?
My name's Abigail J. I'm a neurodiversity advocate and diversity and equality champion, and I'm really passionate about promoting and bringing more awareness around ADHD, particularly in Black women who are often less diagnosed.
Can you remember what episode you're on? Because I can't.
What was it? Oh my God, no.
I can't remember either. But if you haven't listened to Abigail's episode, you should go and listen to it right now because it's amazing. And Abigail joined us on the Too Much tour in London.
Loved it. It was so fun.
It was so much fun. I've got such good videos of you singing along and having a jolly old time.
Karaoke, that was like my dream world, being with a bunch of amazing ADHDers and karaoke. I was like, oh my God, this is like Christmas come early.
Well, Christmas is come early because, what a segue. What shows are you joining us for on the Christmas tour, lovely?
The Birmingham show, and I'm so excited. December the 6th.
December the 6th in Birmingham. Woo! Really excited to have you. But tell me, what would you like the world to know about ADHD?
Oh God, so many things. But I think one of the many things that come to mind is just how hard we often try, especially with our executive function. It can just look so easy that we're just not trying and we're disorganized and we're all over the place. But like, there's often so much effort. You just don't see the behind the scenes of the hours beforehand that we're trying to kind of do things and overwhelmed and the exhaustion just to get things like 60% right and not even get into that. So I just think, as frustrating as it might be for people sometimes with our ADHD, it's more frustrating for us and exhausting for us. Like, we want to be better.
Absolutely. It's such a good point. If you think about effort, like what you think effort looks like and what you can't see is the internal effort and turmoil.
Internal dialogue.
Get that. I really get that. I remember I was with an ex who thought that I wasn't trying. And I remember my friend saying to me, can he not see how hard you're trying. It's like,
exactly.
no,
You might
no.
see me just laying on the couch and you don't realize the internal dialogue of what I've got to do. Like never being able to relax. You're thinking, I've got to do this. I need to do this. I want to relax, but I should be doing this. It's a constant internal battle just to try and do things.
Yeah, 100%. So tell me, what is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
Currently trying to plan my wedding, which I think is like for someone with ADHD, it's like you just want to do the fun, creative stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think probably just, the overwhelm, the choice paralysis, trying to figure out things. I think that has been it this week, just being overwhelmed, go from days of hyper focus and wanting to be in it and doing 101 things, and days where it's like, don't talk to me, I'm avoiding all the emails, I don't want to speak anything about this. Like, it is so up and down. I know my fiance and the planner are just like, what is going on with this person? Like,
I'm so excited for you, but I really, really relate. With so many different options, you've got the choice paralysis, but then also, I don't know if you're like this, but like with the people pleasing, like you've got so many people that are probably traveling, spending money, like there's all of this expectation, and obviously you can't please everyone and you're meant to do it for yourself. But for people like us, that's really hard because you want to make everybody happy.
And I just had a conversation with my cousin earlier this week saying the exact same thing, because like my bridesmaids are trying to be so helpful, but she was like, Abigail, like things probably aren't moving as fast as you want them to because you're literally saying whatever people want, and it's there has to be certain things where you're like, or people just aren't going to do it because they're just like, oh, she's easy with everything, so you have to put your foot down. I'm like, oh, but I'm grateful people want to come and people put their money into it. I just don't know what to do.
Well, it's still very exciting. I'm very excited for you, and I would like to see pictures, please. So when is it?
It's February the 24th. I still had some time, but because my family's from Ghana, there's like the engagement part we had to do in October, which ended up feeling like a full wedding in itself. So I'm just like, I'm from that in Ghana, and like, I'm like, there's still more to do, but there's a few more months to go, so still some time.
Oh, it will all be worth it, and massive congratulations. But tell me, will there be karaoke?
Of course, there's going to be lots of singing. The DJ has to be, I literally need to book a DJ in the next couple of weeks, and that's a requirement, some good karaoke songs.
Yes. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much. I cannot wait to see you in Birmingham and hopefully London too, if I can sort it out.
That's why I love the ADHD community. Oh, I just went ADHD community.
I love it. Oh, love you, Abigail.
Just loads of different people coming together and just supporting each other. So I think that's what is important, just coming together. I'm really excited for the shows and what's going to happen. And the last tour was so creative. So many fun things were involved. I'm like really excited to be involved.
I promise you it will be ridiculous. I promise.
That's all it has to be. The more ridiculous, the better.
So I'm very excited to be joined by this very special guest. Will you please tell me your name? Who are you?
Hello, my name is Kat. I am a community member, and I'm also
legend.
And I'm also stage managing the ADHD AF Christmas Laura.
Ridiculously named. I wouldn't have named it that in hindsight, but here we are. I love it. I couldn't resist the pun.
Which is great. But yeah, so I'm kind of bringing the realness, the community spirit, the understanding, but also bringing my professional skills to the table, and hopefully just help be their support and have a really, really fun, smooth event for everyone.
I'm so excited that you are. You've been such a godsend, so much help. Where do people find you if they want your freelance stage manager expertise?
So I am on Instagram at Leap Into the Dark. The reason the name exists is because originally I came from a performer dancing background, but also I work in the dark backstage. And it's I'm a professional freelance stage manager, but I also do teach stage management. So it's about including people who might know nothing about backstage work.
Tell me like where you're up to on your ADHD safari.
I only discovered ADHD this time last year. My life coach asked me to look up RSD, which I'd never heard of. I looked it up and went, oh God, this is me, because we just kept going around in circles and I was just completely stuck in the past. And then I discovered ADHD and PMDD. I discovered that before, but then linked the two together. And found you. So I binged all of your episodes, just was like, wow. And then came to your first event in Aberdeen.
That's right.
On my own, which was terrifying. But I didn't need to worry because the reason I did it was because I was trying to unmask at the time. Wasn't drinking, completely unmasked, and had a great time. Just leaned into it. So for anyone who is thinking about joining us on their own, do it, because there'll always be people there and there's always a seat at the table.
I've always said, I've been saying that to people, if anybody is frightened to come on their own, to let me know, because we can send somebody out, or I'll come out if I'm not juggling so many things and come and walk you in and get you a good seat. So don't worry about that.
I think it's hard sometimes when something's been going for a while now and people think, but everyone's already made friends and da-da-da-da. But we're just not like that. There's always room for more. Yeah, so I went to the ADHD event and then got much more involved with the community. I'm still waiting for my formal diagnosis. In the meantime, I did also refer for an autism assessment, so I'm on the waiting list for that as well. Canny Campaigns was great, and she's really supportive with that. The self-diagnosis part of it, I know myself so much more. And it's funny that sometimes you think that your ADHD is getting worse because
you're so aware of
that awareness, but actually it's a comfort. It's you're in control, even though some days are harder than others. And also, you know, I get to collaborate with you and be myself. And, you know, it's really refreshing because I can't do that all the time. And I know that we all have different hats for different things and we all are slightly different with different people, but you can just do, which is nice.
What would you like the world to know about ADHD?
For me, the comorbidities, the amount of things that are linked to it. Like you might go into your GP with something else, but actually, if at 21, when I got my dyslexia diagnosis, that they'd identified that actually there might be something else going on, you know, that would have saved 10 years of struggle.
Exactly it. That's exactly my point. That's been my point from day dot, is I went to doctors at 14. If anybody is struggling with something that could potentially be a comorbidity of ADHD or autism, then that should be looked at.
I've been reflecting on my childhood a lot. I think partly because you're supposed to for your diagnosis and things like that, but if parents could have access to just like normal talks, or like not because you think your child's got ADHD, but just an awareness of what children might be going through, because my parents would have had no idea because I was copying everybody else's behaviour. I was literally like performing for my whole childhood. So it's just taken a long time to get here, but I'm here now. Yeah, and I'm excited to be here. At the same time, you can help other people through your own experiences, which is a blessing. Community is everything.
If you're finding this podcast helpful and you're in a position to do so, please join our Patreon peer support community via the link in the blurb of this episode. For unheard bonus and full interview video content and behind-the-scenes exclusives, including a next guest spoiler and first dibs and discounts on our handmade and ethically created merchandise and apparel, and live events tickets. Also blogs, vlogs, live community Zoom blethers, monthly advice from an ADHD coach, body doubling, and access to our Discord, filled with literally like-minded legends from all around the globe, including ourselves, who totally get it, who you can lean on, learn from, and blether with any time. Because the only people who know what it's like aboard the late ADHD diagnosis roller coaster are the other passengers.
We've created this platform in order to support ourselves financially, to be able to continue creating ADHD AF and for our podcast to remain ad-free. If you don't have the funds, there are other peer support platforms available. Check out the resources page on ADHDasfemales.com. If you can support us, in turn, you will receive the support of our community, a full circle of support for the Leopard Print Army. We spent our entire lives feeling like aliens, only to discover there's a whole planet of us. So hop aboard the spaceship and join us at patreon.com/ADHDasfemales.
If you would like to support us without joining the community, you can make a donation via our Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/ADHDasfemales.
Both of us and the entire ADHD AF community really, really appreciate your support.
We really do. So tell me, who are you?
Can't see, but there was a massive moment there, a little bit of drama. My name is Nicole Nadler from episode 17. Various other times I've bonus blethered on here from following Laura and Dawn around their entire Too Much tour.
Can we please just say also, the kidnapping thing was a joke. I never actually took you against your will.
No, I offered. It was my idea.
So Nicole came to every Too Much tour day. So if you saw the Too Much tour, you saw Nicole, who was working on her masterpiece, which went on to be her Edinburgh Fringe show, Why Am I Like This?, to critical acclaim She got extended shows because it was the business. She is the best. And I'm very excited that I've managed to rope her into coming on the road with me again. And you are coming to every single show, aren't you?
Every single show. Listen, Laura, I have 2 speeds. Nothing like laying in my house, decaying, doing the least, or too much. There's no middle area. There's no, So I either will not be at any or at every single one in your pocket the entire time.
What was your favorite show of the Too Much tour?
It's hard because there's like moments from every single
one. Yeah.
I mean, one of the best nights for sure was probably Leeds because it was
such a cool venue.
And the venue themselves were such cool people. Birmingham was a night where we just laid on the floor, right?
Yeah. Birmingham, I love that venue as well. We had a great time at Birmingham. It's such a great, I mean, everywhere was a great crowd, but yeah.
It wasn't, but there were some crowds, like it's not even always size, but there are some crowds where people just come to participate and have a good time, and other times people just come to listen and observe, and both are fine. But for us who are like on stage, it's more fun for us when people are when someone's just sitting there, they could be having the experience of a lifetime, but
we don't know.
But when people are like dancing on a chair, you're like, we're all enjoying it.
Hans.
So those 2, I think, were great venue. Like the venue itself was cool. The people who came were like ready to have a good night.
Yeah, absolutely. They were all special. Like Manchester was great. This time we're doing Manchester at nighttime.
Yes.
So it was a daytime show for this at nighttime.
And
that's the thing, I think, because quite a lot of people have said, I don't really want to come on my own. And it makes me sad because I'm like, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to connect other ADHDers. So if you are one of those people, please know that we will look after you. If you get your ticket and you message me, like, if I can't come out, Nicole will come out. I'll send somebody out. We'll come and get you. Come in. Like, don't, because last time you're not on your own. That's the point of it. You're not on your own. We're a community.
True, because what we found was obviously people come with friends, whatever, but a lot of people came alone. When you're just sat next to people, seeing and experiencing the utter chaos, you find camaraderie with the people around you because you're laughing at someone telling a story about, the lady who left her baby because she thought she was still pregnant. And you can't help but like look to the people next to you and be like, that's so funny, huh? And have a shared experience. So it is the kind of place that it's very welcoming to go on your own because you're with people who are just like you. If you are just like, I don't know, I've just kind of found out about ADHD recently, I'm just kind of interested in what people have to say about things. Whatever. I
think it's also that like we want to raise awareness. So it is to bring the community together, but it's also if you've got somebody in your life that doesn't understand what it's about, it's almost like backup. Like it's not necessarily educational, it's experiential, but bring somebody in your life who doesn't get it and I'll back up everything that you've said so they can hear it out of somebody else's mouth and really be in a room full of people that have experienced similar.
That did happen. I mean, but I would just have these little chats with people because I was just like around passing out pencils and doing merch or whatever. And so many people would say, gosh, I wish I brought my mom to this. I wish I brought my mom to this. So many people, because they're like, that's who needs to
hear it.
Exactly. Me.
Yeah.
You want to turn and be like, see dad or see, whoever. Bring your mom. I love meeting moms. Bring your mom and introduce her to me. We'll be fine.
Have a great time. Tell me, Nicole, what would you like the world to know about ADHD?
One of my passion pet peeves, whatever you want to call it, is when people are like, oh, I'm late sometimes. Do I have ADHD? Or I guess everybody has ADHD now and all of that type of, that's always I like crack my fingers. I'm like, okay. So I could be a broken record about this. On paper, one by one, they are all just everyday human traits, right? Yeah. Like nobody likes rejection. Everybody runs late. People are messy. It's all regular. But when it's all of these things, all of the time, on top of each other, every waking moment, if you can even sleep, some of us can sleep. So it's all the time.
Yeah.
That is not just like, oh, I'm messy too sometimes. I misplace my keys sometimes. It's not the sometimes. And that's really differentiates.
But I saw a really good meme the other day, and it was something like, well, we all pee. If you went to the toilet 100 times a day, that would be a problem, right?
It's precisely. And if you just, like every other person, occasionally misplace your keys and forget to do whatever, then you're just alive. At this point,
exactly. But not for much. But not for much longer if you don't shut up.
Yeah.
Can I help you? Well, thank you very much. I'm so excited. It's really not long now. I love you, leave you.
Bye.
Look at us all professional with mics and shit.
I know, not that I plugged it in though.
Yeah, let's go.
Hello, who are you?
My name is Rosie, and I am an ADHD coach and a podcast host.
Yeah, you're more
and
than that. ADHD legend, yoga goddess.
Thank you. I like that.
The shoe fits. What show are you going to be at, Rosie?
I'm going to be at London. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love the last one.
So tell me, what would you like the world to know about ADHD?
Despite the fact that it is a struggle, and it is most days a very big struggle, and it can be detrimental to people's lives and cost people their lives, that life can still be great, and it will, if we can get the diagnosis, the awareness and the understanding of what ADHD is, and then get the support that we choose to take in order to work with our ADHD.
Absolutely, 100%. And within that, obviously, you've always got to acknowledge that self-diagnosis is valid, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So if
that's
you
why
can,
I said awareness, because I thought that when I said it, I don't want people to think, you need an official diagnosis.
No. But you're right. It's about the identification. It's about awareness, and then the right support, because we're all different, aren't we?
Exactly. And that's the thing. I think, just remembering that it's just when you are unaware of your ADHD, it's when it's the most dangerous for people. So if you have the awareness, which I'm sure the majority of people do who are listening to this podcast, know that you're taking a small step to a better life.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. If you don't already listen to Rosie's podcast, ADHD Untangled, then you should. Treat yourself. Get on board with that. Rosie, what is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
Well, I've actually got a good one, let me tell you. So I don't even have to think about this one. Dr. Ned Hallowell, I don't know if anyone listening knows about him, but you should if you don't. He's like the world leader of ADHD, one of the biggest doctors in the world of ADHD. And I've waited ages to interview this guy and always wanted to, and just did. He wrote me an amazing email asking me to do some, project with him. I haven't seen the email, and I have blanked Dr. Ned Hallowell for a week. And he's asked me one of the most life-changing emails I could ever get. Well, for me, because he's like my dinner guest, like whoever I would want to have dinner with would be him. And I'm mortified by this because I literally saw it yesterday because I just searched something to look for his old email. And I was like, I've blanked him. I've blanked my hero.
However, he knows his people, right? So it's not, he knows.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's it, Rosie. We don't just get to talk about ADHD. We actually have got it, right?
Just have to be reminded every now and then with those big ones.
There you go, have that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to London. I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you. Thank you for having me.
So I am joined by a very special person. Please will you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Steph Thompson and I run All the Discos, which is 80s inspired, retro inspired jewellery and accessories brand. And you may have seen I make some of the merch for ADHD AF. I use a lot of recycled party decorations, a lot of sparkly things. Yeah, everything that's fun.
Everything that's fun. You make them with your own fair hands and they are magnificent. And Steph's just been at Paper Dolls Market in Birmingham and sold a load of ADHD AF ho-ho hun hats.
I have. In fact, that's why I'm not wearing one at the moment. I'm wearing a hat, one of my Christmas hats, but not the pink ones because they all sold.
They are sold. Yeah, love it. They're so good. So good. Which shows are you going to be at, Steph?
I am going to be at London. I'm going to be at Salford, and I'm going to be at Leeds as well.
Yes, very excited. Not even 100% sure what you're doing. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker.
I will have the merch store dreams. We'll have lots of ho-ho hun hats, earrings, things galore, things
All
to make
sorts.
Christmas fabulous. If you want to do a little bit of shopping for other people or for yourself, yes.
Steph is karaoke queen from the Emporium of, so there might be some singing. There'll definitely be some dancing. There'll be some ridiculousness. Very excited, very lucky to have you. Steph came up with the brilliant idea that if you wanted to buy a ho-ho hun hat, you could actually pick it up at the show of your choice, and that saves you the price of postage, and it saves you for getting it or otherwise, and it will be there for you on arrival. So that is an option. Do we know what date the cutoff is? Because obviously you're coming on the road. So what?
I know. I'm going to say the cutoff for that is the 1st of December. If you come to the Birmingham show, I think the cutoff is maybe going to have to be the Wednesday before, which is 29th.
So our Steffi's a neurotypical. She's one of them. She's from the other side. From your own experiences around this and me and everything that you've learned, what would you like the world to know about it?
You need to have some understanding. Everybody is different, and everybody deserves the space, and everybody deserves the understanding. Just learn about it. It saves lives, it saves relationships.
The understanding and the compassion, to see it through a different lens. You're spot on. Right, is there anything else you would like to say before I leave you to get on making your magical creations?
I did speak to a couple of people in Birmingham yesterday who are going to the Birmingham show. I'm very upset I'm not there, but
I know.
I have spoken to a few people that are going, and they're very excited for it, and I told them they're in for a treat. And I'm excited to see everybody else for the other England dates. I think that's it. I can't wait. I need to go plan some outfits. That's what I need to go and do.
I know. See you soon. So who are you?
So I am Ali, ADHD AF community member.
Community legend.
Business leadership coach, project manager, campaigner. Yeah, all the things.
Many a string to your bow. So Ali
everything.
Was part of the Coven of Three alongside our Canny campaigns, who made the ADHD AF Make It Count campaign to make this ADHD Awareness Month count. So it's Ali that came with me to Westminster. And why do I keep forgetting what Scottish Parliament is called?
Holyrood.
There we go. So we were at Holyrood in the morning, and then we were at Westminster, and Ali was there being amazing, basically. And as for the campaign, it's not stopped. It's still going. We're coming back to it in the new year. Thank you to everybody who sent us their information. I'm still up for more. So if you missed out on that, I'm totally happy for people to keep tagging us in that. Hashtag ADHDAF Make It Count. Wear some leopard print. Tell us where you are and give us your number of how long you had to wait. Don't you reckon? We just keep going.
Absolutely. I think keep it going. I'm still not sure I even did my own in amongst the excitement.
I didn't do mine up there, actually. That's a there you go.
So maybe we could lead the way. We didn't manage to do it, and we were there. I'm sure there's lots of other people who it fell off their radar. And the more data we can get to prove that there's lots of people out there waiting, the better chance we have of actually getting the government to track the really specific information that we need to get the change.
Which shows are you going to be at, Ali?
Oh, that is a good question. At the moment, I will definitely be at London and at Glasgow. I would imagine I will also be at Edinburgh. Possibly a sneaky Aberdeen and Manchester in there if I can make it work.
No, I would be lucky to have you at any.
I'm not sure I know what I'm doing beyond possibly making a few bits and pieces, but
Yes, Ali is amazing at making merch. Ali's amazing at everything. Ali has been an absolute godsend to the community and to me personally. Ali has been helping me with bloody all sorts, and I came up with a really genius idea. So on the 8th of January, we will have been doing the morning body doubling in the online ADHDF community for a whole year. And so in celebration, Ali has come up with even more amazing stuff that we're going to do.
So yeah, the idea that I had, and it really builds on the body doubling, I guess, is accountability pods. And it's something I've worked with before as a coach. I've used it before in a parenting setup. But actually, what most people chose to focus on was not parenting. People use the accountability pods to give themselves accountability for working on their own businesses, for working on self-care, health, for meal planning, for all sorts of things. And we're still have some decisions to make about how it will work for our community.
Yeah.
Depending on the number of people who are interested. So how it worked before previously, because of the number of people that we had interested, was that they were led by peer supporters who were then supported by a coach, because that means you can have an unlimited number of pods, an unlimited number of times a day of the week and times a day, and you could have American times, you could have Australian times, all of that kind of stuff.
Because we've got people all over the world in the community, so that's really good.
We just need to see whether that's the route we're going to go down or whether we'll go for coach-led pods.
Yeah.
As a coach, I only want to run a couple of weeks, so depending on interest, it's more likely, I think, that we'll go with the peer-led, and we'll provide training for the peer supporters, and then they will start running their pods on a format that we will give them, and it's about giving people accountability and helping them plan their sort of tiny next step for what their goal for the week is.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I can't wait. So we will start that in January after the shows when I've had a little lie down.
Well, we need to regroup in January and come up with next steps. That'll be an exciting period. Obviously, we're leading up to general election. One of the things we've spoken about is an ADHD manifesto for the election, and we've got a bit of a job on our hands working across 3 governments. So if anybody knows anything about the Welsh Parliament, I think still that's particularly welcome, because it's not something either of us really have an in with. Any useful contacts, people who could help us out, if anybody's got an in at either of the parliaments, I think we would really welcome it. And then just watch this space. I think we'll be consulting on what should be in this manifesto beyond the facts and figures that we're looking for. What else do we want in there? What do the community want in there? And just watch this space, I think, for post-Christmas and post-shows and the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, what would you like the world to know about ADHD?
It's a very good question.
I'm full of them.
People, regardless of the point that they are on their own individual safari, it gets better. Like, it makes a lot of things make sense. It leaves lots of questions, and it will make you question lots of things that have happened in the past. Lean into community, whether that's our community or there's lots of other communities out there, obviously, or your own kind of local community. But it can seem a lot at the start, gets less heavy, and it makes a lot of things that have potentially hung over you for a long time make a bit more sense.
I very much agree with that. I always give the example of the anger. I was so full of rage. I'm still angry about it, and that's part of the fight, but I'm not just like seething 24/7. That's definitely
somewhere to direct that, I think, is the thing as well. Like, point it in a direction and get angry at the system and work to change it, rather than
the past or past you. Yeah, exactly that. That is wise words indeed. Okay, what is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
See, I knew you were going to ask me this as well, and I couldn't think of one, because obviously they all fall out my head. But there's one that's sort of related to this week, and it was your picture that you had shared of Blackpool. And this is over 20 years ago, but obviously...
That is brilliant.
It kind of reared its head again this week. So we were sitting one night in my friend's flat in Glasgow. I think we'd just been watching the fireworks. I think it was bonfire night. We somehow got into talking about the Blackpool illuminations. Somebody came up with the idea that we should go to Blackpool and see the illuminations at 10 o'clock at night, maybe. So
not to make a plan, as in now.
Let's go. So 6 of us jump in my tiny little 1.1 litre Ford Fiesta, which should not have been in that car, but that's how we did it. off we set to Blackpool. Straight drove down there. Great. Got to Blackpool. There was no lights. We drove along the street, looked at the Blackpool Tower in darkness.
How long a drive?
Probably 3.5 hours.
7-hour round trip to see Blackpool in darkness.
Darkness, turned round, drove back again. Yeah, I've still never seen the lights switched on.
Impulsivity at its finest. All right, lovely. Well, thank you ever so much. And I'm very excited for all the new and exciting things we're going to do in the community.
Lean into the community. I would imagine there'll be people around on Christmas Day.
I'm definitely going to do a little Christmas Day stint. I don't know if we all come on together or if we take it throughout the day, however we work it, to be there if anyone's on their own or if anyone's actual family is doing their head in, they can come and hang out with chosen family for a little while on Christmas Day over Zoom.
Yes, I think that'll be hopefully a help for some people.
So yes, Ali is also a quiz queen, just to add another string to her bow.
Yeah, backed by popular demand, I believe we're going to have a Christmas quiz. Big ADHD AF Twixmas quiz. So
in that confusing week between Christmas and New Year's, when everybody doesn't know what day it is, not just us.
It'll be a nice way to hopefully get together between Christmas and New Year and spend some time as a community. So.
Definitely. Well, I'm so grateful that you came to the community. I'm so grateful for everything. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look at us. Hello. Am I talking, Laura?
Yeah, who are you?
Sorry. Hey, I'm Hannah Huxford and I'm the author of The Secret Diary of an ADHD Martyr, A Girl Gone Wild, that I wrote in 6 months on Concerta Excel and working a full-time job at the time in the motor industry. I'm late diagnosed with ADHD. I was late diagnosed at the age of 47, had a massive life-changing experience because of my diagnosis. This year, I've written and sung on many dance tracks that have been in the dance charts. I also am a TikTok shop presenter as well as a TikTok shop creator. And basically, I'm Hannah Huxford. I have ADHD and I just love life.
Hannah is the best. Any of you that came to the Too Much tour, where did you come? Leeds and Nottingham, wasn't it?
I did Leeds and Nottingham, and I wish I'd come on to Birmingham. My husband had to get back to work. If not, I would have just toured with you. I'd have just gone, yeah, let's do it.
Hannah is the best. Hannah's one of my absolute favourite people, and I'm so excited that Hannah is coming for some Christmas shows. Which shows are you coming to?
I'm going to London, I'm going to Manchester, and I'm going to be in Leeds.
Thank you so, so much. So tell me, what would you like the world to know about ADHD?
That ADHD is real. When they say, oh, we're a little bit ADHD. No, you're not. You have ADHD if you have ADHD.
That's a very, very good point. And your book, that's your whole experience, because I know we've spoken about it personally before. You said it was very cathartic.
Yeah, so after my diagnosis, obviously having nearly 5 decades without any diagnosis, always knowing that I had ADHD, having that clarification, I literally just wanted to learn and know everything about ADHD. So what I did is I'd wrote journals for years, and somehow I put that into a book format where I could go back over my life and share my experiences with everybody, whether you have ADHD or not, to give an understanding through my voice of what life has been like for nearly 5 decades, living with an undiagnosed ADHD and all the chaos that went with it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing book. And there's more to come, right?
Yep, I've got book 2. It should have been out this year, but like typical ADHD, it got shelved, but it will be out for the new year. And then there's another 3 books, which I will get. They've just got to get finished.
Yeah. And you've been helping me a little bit. Well, giving me the kickstart to get my book written. But then obviously I've had my hands a little bit full, but that will be my priority in the new year as well, because I really need to get it done.
Yeah. And I'm here for you.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome, Laura, and I'm really excited for you as well for it.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell me, what is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
I would probably say I did 6 hours back to back of live streaming on TikTok Shop, and did it with 3 different companies, and I had to change over 3 different sets and was all over the place. Clothes were on wrong hangers, and I was a little bit very disorganized. I should have put myself in, should have given myself a little bit of time in between. So that's probably the most ADHD thing, is like booking myself in for live streaming with different brands on TikTok Shop and not giving myself enough time.
We live and learn. Well, we hope. We try anyway.
Exactly.
So what's the TikTok Shop? What's it called?
So TikTok Shop, it's just me, Hannah Huxford, because I'm a TikTok Shop creator. So it's just me.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no, it's going to be amazing, Laura. I'm so proud of you as well. Honestly, I love all the community. I love everything you do. Honestly, you're amazing, and it's going to be an amazing show.
So, who are you?
Hi, I'm Rachel Doe, also known as Adulting ADHD, and I've been raising awareness about ADHD online for about 3 years now.
I can't remember what episode you're on, but it's this season and it's brilliant. So have a listen if you haven't listened to Rachel's episode. Which show are you going to be at, Rach?
I will be at the London show, and you will have to remind me of the date in true ADHD fashion.
I believe it's it's either the 8th or the 9th. It's the Friday. I know it's a Friday. Is it the 9th? Yeah, it's the 9th, I think.
Perfect.
Yes, Friday the 9th.
No, it's the 8th. It's the 8th.
There you go. Friday the 8th of December. I'm very, very excited. And I'm not telling people what people are doing, but I'm very excited about your part and I can't wait to see you do it. So what would you like the world to know about ADHD?
I think probably the key thing right now, especially with a lot of articles trying to kind of like diminish or undermine how especially adults with ADHD feel, is that adults can have ADHD. The reason why there's an increase in, let's say, diagnosis or, appointments is that our ADHD was missed in childhood, which is why you see a lot of adults now realizing, hey, I think I could have ADHD, and doing the normal thing, which people do when they think they may have a, let's say, condition, is check with their doctor, which is why there is a surge in ADHD assessments and diagnosis.
It's such a funny one, isn't it? Like it makes perfect sense. So I don't even understand. A really good example, Jade Goody, she had cervical cancer a few years ago, which is really terribly sad. But the fact that she went through that so publicly, it meant there was a huge increase in smear test screenings, which is a really amazing thing that would have saved lives. It would have helped a lot of people. So it really, really grates on me when people are like, all these celebrities talking about having ADHD or whatever is making more people be tested. Yeah, that's a good thing. Because then that means they're going to get the help that they need. I just don't understand it.
And especially because a lot of people become very anxious or are super depressed because so much is going on in their life and they can't put their finger on it. And so some people get to a point where they're driven so much to depression, and maybe they see something online and think, hey, maybe I could have ADHD, go through the process and get diagnosed and start treatment, and their world turns the right side up. Yeah. And that's because they figured out they could have ADHD when they were sitting in their depression or anxiety. So no, it's helpful to know. Just knowing actually helps.
Exactly that, because of all the other different areas that undiagnosed, untreated, unmanaged ADHD can impact: addiction, divorce, all of these huge societal problems. It's in no way a negative that there is a surge in people exploring the possibility that they have ADHD. The negative is that they're having to wait so long because the system is broken, but people actually trying to access help or even self-diagnosing when they can't get help in a timely fashion or they don't feel they need to is nothing but positive.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. What is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
I triple booking. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I've told 3 people that I can meet up with them at 6:00. And all 3 of them have been messaging me throughout the week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've given everyone a Wednesday. And it's on my calendar. The funniest thing, it's in my calendar, but I put them in at different slots, but they're all at the same time.
It's hilarious. But are they understanding when you explain?
Yeah.
Good. Tell me, are you feeling festive yet?
Yes, honestly, I'm such a Christmassy person. Christmas starts in September for me. And I think I've watched almost every single Christmas movie on Netflix and Amazon Prime. I love Christmas. It's just me. I just love it.
I used to say that like an excuse for partying, dressing up, sparkles, eating nice food. I am Christmas. I'm all about it. But I'm so glad that you're going to join me for the London show. It's going to be ridiculous and so fun. And just, for all the fun that it is, Christmas can be really tough for so many of us. So I think it's really important that we're all going to be together.
Yeah. It's going to be a great time. Super fun.
Okay, I am Chloe Jackson. I'm a newly qualified nurse due to graduate next month, which is very exciting.
You came to speak to me at the end of the Aberdeen event, and you were talking about this choir.
Umbrella A Cappella, which is a community singing group for adults. The choir prides itself on being a neuro-inclusive and accessible singing group that has an everyone can sing ethos. So you don't need to be Beyonce to join. The group spreads joy through the power of music and provides people with the opportunity to form new social connections. Obviously, in turn, this contributes to bringing people out of social isolation and promotes positive mental well-being among the community in Aberdeen, particularly after the pandemic. I'd always kind of had the urge to set up a choir and write a song, because, that's just an ADHD thing to do, isn't it? I'd experienced social isolation throughout my life because I was perceived as being different. But I'd always sort of found comfort in choirs since I was at school. And I acknowledged that music really had a power to connect people together and make friendships.
So when did you get diagnosed yourself?
It's about a year in a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
So it's about a year now, yeah. But I knew I was neurodivergent because I'd been diagnosed with dyscalculia, dyslexia and dyspraxia when I was younger. Got the assessment, and then I was also diagnosed with autism as well.
So how do you feel now?
I feel great because I'm on medication and it keeps my brain straight and clear, and I think the medication is life-changing. It really is.
You came to speak to me, so that was the first ADHD AF event ever, and now is it your first performance? Is that right?
Yes, it is.
I love it so much. I love it.
It's a magical story, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I'm so excited about it. So you're going to be at the Aberdeen event with Umbrella A Cappella and singing us a few songs.
We've got a few surprises. Well, there will be some Christmas tunes, which everybody can sing along with. And we have a few upbeat Scottish ones, but also one that sort of resonates with the group's ethos.
I love it that it's full circle. I think it's fantastic. So
thank you so much for inviting us, Laura. We're honestly so honoured to have that opportunity to come back. And it's quite funny that, I came up to you for your first ever show and told you about this idea and run with it. And thank you so much. We're really excited.
Not at all. I can't wait to have you perform. What would you like the world to know about ADHD if you could shout one message from the rooftop?
Oh, goodness. It's a very good
There's
question.
So many, right? But one.
Yeah, let me try and think of one. This is the most ADHD thing ever, is just sitting here trying to think of one.
Well, there you go. You've answered my next question.
I would probably say give us time. We have so much to offer the world. And, I do a lot to promote neurodivergence within the nursing community, particularly through my group Sun, Support and Understanding for Neurodivergent Nurses. And I'm so passionate about neurodiversity, and I just wish people would understand us better and give us the time that we need to show what we can give the world, because we can give a lot.
That's a fantastic message. Thank you very much.
The most ADHD thing I've done this week. The other day when we finished choir practice, I decided, instead of coming all the way back to the room to get the rest of the stuff that we needed to put in the car, I would just carry it all, and I couldn't even see. And I was almost breaking my arms trying to carry everything to the car, and everyone was like, yeah, that's the most ADHD thing.
Yeah, I've done that so many times. It's just like, oh, that'll be all right. It's it's really not all right. It makes no sense. It's dangerous. You can hurt yourself. It's going to take twice as long.
Yeah, I just didn't have the patience to go back. I was like, no, I'm just going to carry it all and almost in my hand.
I love that. Very relatable. Thank you very much. And I can't wait to see Umbrella A Cappella. Go and give them a follow. I'm too excited about it.
If you want to come and join us, come and join us. You're doing an amazing job, Laura. Well done. Thank you so much for doing what you do. You really are amazing.
Thank you. That's really kind. You have a lovely evening, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Put your feet up now.
You're right. Thank you, lovely. Have a nice evening.
Yes, thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
bye, bye, bye. Who are you?
I'm James Brown, co-founder of the charity ADHD Adult UK and the ADHD Adults podcast.
Thank you for joining me. And you are going to be joining me in London.
I am, yeah, and I'm really excited about it because I think I've seen so much of the events you've done in the past, and I've seen what you've got planned, and just to be a part of it is so exciting.
Oh, so kind. I'm very excited to have you. And Sam's coming as well, isn't she?
Well, yeah, I mean, she will be, but that's less important, obviously.
The thing is, right, so I've made this ridiculous little, I'm not even going to say what it is. And at this point, you don't actually have a part, but as you two are coming, I might just have to write you parts now. Rather than just I mean, there. I might have to make a whole extra bit just for you two.
Well, you know that I will do anything. Literally, I have no shame. I have no fear about these things. So whatever you want me to do, it's even if it's the truffle shuffle from the Goonies, then I'll do it just to make sure it helps the event go as well as it's going to.
That's fantastic. I'm going to hold you to that. Famous last words. What would you like the world to know about ADHD?
I would like the world to know that ADHD is, obviously it's real, but more importantly, it's a performance issue, not an ability issue. ADHD is not an inability to do stuff. It's the fact that our brains stop us from doing stuff consistently. We are consistently inconsistent. And therefore accepting that with support, we can do things. In fact, we can do things amazingly is really important. It's not that we can't do things. It's just that our brain makes it more difficult to.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. What's the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
That's easy. I spent 3 hours making homemade cat paste, lickable cat paste, rather than writing the course on productivity, which I'm delivering online, which I had a very short deadline to do because it was the next day. Because Aldi and Asda, didn't have any cat paste, so I thought I'd make it myself. Bought some chicken breast, boiled it, minced it up, was then working at how much cat milk to add, not milk from a cat, obviously, how much water, it's too sloppy, it's too thick, for 3 hours, and then went, oh yeah, I'm meant to be writing that course, aren't I?
That's so good. How was the cat paste?
It's all right, actually, they like it.
But no cats were harmed in the milking?
No cats were harmed in the milking. I couldn't use our cats because they won't come near me, so I just grabbed some neighbourhood cats, and they quite enjoyed it.
I love it. Is there anything else you want to say?
I think I'd just like to say that there's nothing in life that makes me prouder than the community we are part of. And seeing the support we have for each other, the love that we have for each other, the fact that we may be isolated, we may be spread out across the country or the world, but we are a family and we are a tribe. And I take so much strength from that fact that I'm not alone, that you're not alone, that we're not alone. Even if we're separated by great distances, we have this shared experiences, and I think that's really powerful.
Jesus Christ, you're going to make me cry today.
I always do.
Take delight in it. I'll see you in London.
I'm looking forward to it.
Very much. Right, I'll let you get on, busy bee, but good luck with everything.
Yes, thank you.
Send my love to Sam.
Good on you. Okay, mate, you take care.
Thanks so much. Bye,
love
bye. Lots of love. So that was a lot, hey? But to quote Nicole Nadler, I am a lot of a person. The events are a lot, and ADHD is a lot. I hope you enjoyed the too muchness and took something away from these very special people, all of whom I am so very grateful for. So evidently this episode was late and a bit glitchy, but I'm trying not to apologise because I'm accepting that this is what my best looks like right now. But I do want to apologise that I'm not coming to every city that we visited on the Too Much tour. The decision was made back in August when we were limited to dates, and then when it was just me able to do any dates I wanted, it was too late to book the venues, with it being the busy festive period. And in hindsight, I wish I'd asked the London venue for an extra date when I booked it, knowing that the last one had sold out, because it sold out again. And I did try to get a second date, but it was too late. But if you would like to come to any of the shows and aren't able to because it's not near you or it's sold out or whatever, I promise there will be more in the new year, and I'll be coming to more places because there are literally no words for how much I love and believe in them, and I cannot wait to see you all. So all remaining tickets are available via link in bio and in the blurb of this episode. I just want to let you know that Dawn is working very hard to get all assignments done for this semester, and she will be coming along to Aberdeen and Glasgow, and any more if she can make it. But Dawnie isn't singing us out this time. Instead, we conclude this chaos with my most ADHD thing of the week. So when my laptop went tits up when creating the Calamity of a First solo podcast, I was distraught on the ADHD AF online community, and many of the members showed me great kindness, which is what's kept me going. But this one takes the cake. A legendary lady called Jess from Gateshead took the time to send me an impromptu silly song on the audio rants channel of the members Discord server to lift me out of despair, and it really bloody worked. I listened to it on repeat, turning my crying into crying laughing. I played it to Big and we were howling laughing in bed listening. The reason why it's my most ADHD thing is because despite being so touched by this gesture and asking permission, I forgot to put this in last week's episode. But as fate would have it, this downright ridiculous, overwhelmingly kind too muchness is the perfect end to this episode, displaying that community truly is everything. Big love.
I'm putting my computer in the bin. This laptop is about to take 2 off the river Tyne tied to a brick. This smartphone is trying to ruin my life. I'm putting the whole lot in the bin before I vow to destroy every single thing that I own. I swear this thing is plotting against me. I hope this computer knows what it's fucking put me through. People are scared of a robot army that will rise up and steal all our jobs. Ha! It can't even do this one fucking thing for me. This one fucking thing for me. I'm gonna make this computer wish it was never fucking born. Turn it off, put it under the bed, in the cupboard, in a shed, on a shelf. I'm gonna put it in the bath and turn the taps on. It's gonna go in a pot in the stove for the bolognese. It's going in the blender. I'm gonna make single-handedly ensure it be smashed up into dust and compacted into a tiny pill. And that pill will be distributed and crushed into an intravenous drip that will be held on ice and then periodically fed into Elon Musk's left eyeball intermittently when he's in a care facility until the day that he dies. Sorry, Elon, not really. I'm really tired, and I've been told I'm prone to exaggeration.